Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So crypto regulatory clarity, that is the name of the game. We know that we're going to see the ecosystem really explode once that regulatory clarity sweeps the world. Will there be a spec run before that though, guys? I have XRP here on the daily, right now trading at about 23.5 cents, and it has vacillated over the last few days from about, 23.5, 24, finding some support here in that zone, kind of mimicking what was going on here before we saw that big uptrend to over 34 cents. Of course, then we saw it coming back down, but we're not seeing it go back to sub 20 cents. Remember back in December when we saw XRP at, 17, 18, 19 cents? It quickly shot up after that. Right now, we are just mimicking Bitcoin. And that Bitcoin halving is happening soon. And I think we're going to continue to see Bitcoin rally up until May. I don't think we're really going to see a huge pump post-halving. But overall, if you look at Bitcoin on the weekly trend, overall, we are still bullish. I do think we will break this $14,000 high that we saw last June eventually, probably by Q2 or Q3. What will that mean for XRP price? Well, we know XRP price mimics Bitcoin to a degree, give or take. So can we make money in the interim? And is it worth it? If you bought a stack at 19 cents, is it worth it to sell at 40 cents? How many of you guys do that? How many of you guys don't hodl necessarily, but do swing trades, right? Wait a few months, double your money, buy back in when XRP is cheap. How many of you guys do that? I want to hear in the comments because I want to actually know who's listening to this channel. I know you guys are XRP hodlers. I know some of you guys are in it for the long term. And there's nothing wrong with swing trading. There's nothing wrong with taking profits as we go. But the big kahuna regulatory clarity, that's what I think a lot of us are waiting for. Did you guys see this tweet from Brad Garlinghouse? Energy consumption for BTC and Ethereum mining is a massive waste, and there's no incentive to take responsibility for the carbon footprint. Absolutely mind-blowing that this isn't high on the agenda for the growing climate crisis. He posts this article here. Interesting that Brad Garlinghouse is mentioning that, considering he himself has said he is long on Bitcoin. I don't think the two necessarily go hand in hand. He's long on Bitcoin because he sees it as an investment. I think with regards to using Bitcoin as a payment or mining Ethereum because it has value for other reasons, it's the mining, it's the proof of work that I think he has a problem with. And the fact that it is just not sustainable unless we find ways to power those mining rigs that are more environmentally friendly. Because as it is, apparently Bitcoin uses more electricity per transaction than a British household in 2 months. All right, I didn't read this article. I will keep it up here. I will link it in the description for you guys if you do want to read it. I saw this from XRP Crypto Wolf. And guys, Germany is getting clearer and clearer on the regulations. Germany has provided legal clarity on the status of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So this from Decrypt, sent to me from XRP Crypto Wolf. So Germany's one of those countries in Europe that is on the forefront of a lot. And so the Federal Financial Supervisory Authority, BaFin of Germany has officially defined cryptocurrencies as financial instruments, providing further regulatory clarity. This makes it easier for those spending cryptocurrencies and will give some relief to businesses built around them. According to the translation, BaFin's press release published on March 2nd, cryptocurrencies are now classified as the digital representations of value. So we are seeing clarity coming out of Germany that have the following characteristics: not issued or guaranteed by any central bank or public body, doesn't have the legal status of currency or money, can be used by individuals or legal entities as a means of exchange or payment, serve investment purposes, can be transmitted, stored, and traded electronically. So kind of treating them like stocks in a lot of ways. Purpose of exchange, they do hold value. You can exchange them as a legal means of payment, but they are not considered. They don't want to consider them currencies, probably because of the volatility that goes along with a lot of these cryptocurrencies. And so they wanted to point out that cryptocurrencies are not to be confused with various types of electronic money, because I have a feeling they are going to provide different regulatory clarity for CBDCs and the like. But this is very good. It's a step in the right direction. Germany providing that legal regulatory clarity that we need in order to keep moving forward, in order to make cryptocurrency part of the financial structure in the coming years. XRP Crypto Wolf posted this. An article about Ripple was published in today's Nikkei Asian Review. I think it's the Nikkei Asian Review, is it? Yes, Nikkei Asian Review edition. And clearly, I cannot read this. But I have a feeling that XRP Crypto Wolf has translated some of the highlighted points here for us. Ripple's overview, the Internet of Value, international remittances, activity for ecosystem development at the Spring Initiative, and the UBRI. RippleNet features especially on-demand liquidity, so ODL and XRP, basically giving the people of Asia an overview of how some of these things will work, what Ripple plans on doing. So a nice little infotisement. Infotisement, I don't know. Is that even a thing? It's advertising, but with a little bit of information to kind of get you going. Or was this a journalistic article, a special interview? Perhaps somebody over at the Nikkei Asian Review decided to interview somebody at Ripple. I have no idea because I cannot read it. If somebody who can read, I don't know what this even is, Mandarin, Cantonese, some form of Asian language, if somebody could read this, translate, give me the gist of it. Thanks so much, XRP Crypto Wolf, for pointing out the main points. Would like to know more about that. But guys, here's the piece of news that people are talking about today. India's Supreme Court lifts RBI ban on banking servicing crypto firms. And I gotta say, India is one of the most important markets for remittance. Without India, I'm not gonna say Ripple wouldn't be successful because they still would be successful in the corridors, but I think India will really push them to the stratosphere and beyond. The Supreme Court of India has struck down the Reserve Bank of India's controversial ban on banks dealing with crypto-related firms. So guys, this is huge for Ripple and XRP. The court's bench of Justice Rohinton Nariman, S. Ravindra Bhatt, and V. Rabasubramanian delivered the judgment earlier today, March 4th, litigation news site Live Law reported. So India's central bank, RBI, has imposed a blanket ban on banks dealing with crypto businesses. They did this back in April 2018. Following both public and industry-led petitions, a case combining challenges against central bank was brought before the Supreme Court by the Internet and Mobile Association of India. Hearings for the challenge were held over 2 weeks in January of this year. So here's what's important. Live Law reports that the justices ruled that the RBI's action was disproportionate. Key arguments in the case included the central bank's contention that cryptocurrency is a digital means of payment and that the institution was empowered by law in its intervention. This was countered by the IAMAI, who argued they can oscillate between serving as a commodity or store of value and as a medium of exchange. Sood argued RBI did not have the jurisdiction to ban financial firms from providing services to cryptocurrency-related businesses. And guys, this is important because Ripple, we know, has deep ties to India, deep connections in India. I believe they have an office in Mumbai, if I am not mistaken. And guys, you got to remember the history. So back in July 2018, Asheesh Birla said we have 50% of the market in India. And guys, that was more than a year ago. That was July 2018. It'll be coming up to 2 years this July. So you can only imagine how that has grown over the last 18, 20 months or so. I don't know if you remember Asheesh Birla talking at that conference when he said, here's the quote here. That was one idea. But when we realized that if you get the top 3 banks in India onto Ripple, you get 80% of the market share. And then we looked at where's the future. And so we realized in the next 5 years, 1 billion people will become banked in India, but they'll be banked through their phones. So we started targeting mobile phone providers and telcos. And so now I think that in our pipeline, we have probably 50% of the market in India either integrated onto Ripple or in a deal in the sort of pipeline to be signed to India. And guess what? We're going to take that back to Wells Fargo and we're going to say there's no better way to send into India than Ripple. So a lot of potential there. Nick Foong remembers at Nick168FNG. We have 50% of the market, says Asheesh Birla, SVP of Ripple 2018. Take a deep breath and let that sink in. He also posts this article that I'm just talking about as we speak. And I'm glad people are remembering this. I have to review this sometimes for the new people coming into the space, but it is important to remember the connections that we've heard of in the past. Michael B on Twitter at XRP Michael B says India's population massive. India's annual cross-border remittances massive. India's unbanked massive. India's need for crypto use cases is massive as well. Indian government views on helping its citizens massive. Ripple and XRP's presence in India will be massive. And like I say, guys, the more demand for XRP, the more people will need it, the more people will buy it, and thus the price will rise organically. And just to put things into perspective here with regards to remittances, India has the largest remittance market in the world. These are 2018 numbers. And India outpaces everybody with 78.6 billion in the need for receiving remittance payments into their country, followed by China, which is another big one. Then Mexico and the Philippines coming up in 3rd and 4th. And we know Ripple already using ODL in Mexico and the Philippines. So this is great news all around. Stewart XRP posted this video here. This was back from November 2019, a few months ago now. And I'm just going to play you the first few seconds of this. This is Dilip Rao talking about Ripple in India, okay?
In India, when I first started selling there, they said, what does the Reserve Bank of India think about Ripple? And I said, well, why are you asking me? Why aren't you going to ask the central bank? They said, no, we can't do anything unless the RBI is going to be approving of it. So, of course, we spent time with the RBI. And I said, yes, this is technology between banks. Go for your life.
So you hear what he says, the RBI has to approve this again from November 2019. Now we're hearing a verdict. The India Supreme Court lifts the ban on cryptocurrencies. So will India be the next corridor Ripple targets now that there's clarity in the space? Could it be another corridor? I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to be eligible. Oh yeah, I'm giving away a Ledger Nano X on March 15th. But guys, you got to be subscribed and I will know if you're subscribed or not. Less than 200 subscribers away from 30,000 subscribers, so please subscribe if you want to be eligible. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.